Hey, how's it going this morning in Melbourne?
Yes, it's still hot. Still summer here.
I was waiting for
So,
the weather comment. Like it. Got it. Awesome.
but it's hot where you are right now as well, right? Not
Yeah,
as
yeah,
like in
yeah.
Montreal where it's like minus 20.
Exactly. Cool. So we'll see, and we'll wait for people to join in a little bit. We can wait a little bit. I think I didn't see how many people joined, but yeah. So we didn't plan this one before. This one was like lunch on the spot, and we didn't really plan that much. That's all right. But you guys who joined us, just comment below in the chat, and we'll make sure to interact. And as we say, like all the time, the best sessions are the one where people interact, people ask questions, because you get out of this what you put in, right? So if you put a good question, you get a good answer, and that's awesome. So one problem that I'm kind of bugged with in the trading industry, and this is something I've been through myself, I've been experiencing myself, is that like there's so many information online, it's so easy to find whatever answer to whatever problem you have. But at the same time, that can be really tricky because all these people online are gonna have different opinions. So you could read on a blog and like, so you search online for a topic you're looking for, like trading strategies. You read somewhere that you need price action, and then next door you need someone. You read about someone who would say price action is bullshit, doesn't work. Use this instead, and the other one next door is gonna say, well, that's not gonna work. That's bad. Use this instead, and you get really, really confused over time. That's really tough. So that's kind of the main thing that we want to address today. It's not about looking for the right information or looking for the right thing to master. It's more looking about what's the process? What are these things that you have to go through? And no matter what you trade, no matter what you do in the market, it's always going to be the same. That's what we'll talk about this morning. And we have one guy going in the chat. Welcome, Mighty Icy. Welcome. He says, hey, perfect. That's a good question. So we'll get to that a little bit later. But Mandy, I'll let you rock that topic as always. And I'll let you go with whatever you want to talk about.
So I was multitasking. I apologize. I just put it out on LinkedIn as well,
Good.
because as Etienne said, it was a little bit of a spur of the moment thing. Because when Etienne told me he reached 4,000 subscribers, I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing! You know, you really should celebrate that. And this is what we do, right? Celebrating. And also, as Etienne said, this is so. Telling for the work that Etienne does and that there is a real need in the market. And so what the topic today really reminds me about when I came to Australia. Um, so Australia, they have this thing, the street signs are written really, really small. So when you're driving, not only you drive in a new environment, in a new country, you also drive on the wrong side of the road. So I'm from Germany. We drive, right hand side. Here it's the other way around, like England and Hong Kong. And so not only did I have to make sure that I don't hit the curb all the time because I wasn't used to those new measurements. I also needed to make sure that I can look out for the street signs and actually read the street signs to find out where I have to go. And I got lost so many times that when I had an appointment, I usually left an hour early just to make sure that I arrive on time because it was just normal that I would get lost. And this is the same in trading. Traders, they start out on their journey and they have all those high hopes and want to do want to become a full-time trader, but on the way they get lost. And only when was it? Look, guys, iPhones, I think they're only out for 7 years or so. So 2010, I think iPhones were launched. Do you know, Etienne, when was iPhones?
I cannot know for sure, but I know it wasn't that long ago when you think about it.
You were
That's
born
crazy.
with iPhones.
Yeah.
you know so
Not that bad, but no, still pretty recent.
and my life changed because I had iPhone's maps and I could key in which destination to go. And okay, the maps didn't always give me the best option, but I knew that I will arrive quite safely. And yes, we all hear the stories about, Google Maps sending people into a dead end or, into the woods instead of to the city center because there were errors in the coding. But that happens. So, and using this analogy, I mean, I don't know if you've seen this example where, the path to success. I thought the path to success would be like this, but the path to success turned out to be like this,
Right.
And this is kind of what my trading journey was, because when I started out, as I said many times, there was no iPhone, there was no internet, and I had to figure out where to go, what to do. I had to go to like real physical seminars, God forbid, and had to read books. And I wasn't able to identify or to check if I liked the educator or not, because I physically had to pay for my seminar first, which was usually between $2,000 and $3,000. And now on the internet, you can check a webinar, and this is what we do as well, right? We give, we want to contribute to traders and see if they can check if they feel comfortable with us to join your academy or to join our trading mindset programs before they buy, because you want to make sure that we are a match. Not everyone is a match, and that's cool, right? That's normal. So yeah, iPhone has really changed my life. And Etienne, I asked Etienne at the beginning of the year. I said, Etienne, why do you 2007? Matt said 2007 iPhone was 10 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's far. I don't know if it's that far, but crazy. Goes
Yeah.
fast.
So and I asked Etienne at the beginning of the year, what's your goal? So we completed this training together, which was kind of um, project, pilot project for us to find out if Etienne and I are a match, if we want to work together, and if what we have to offer is in demand in the trading industry. And yes, it is in demand, which is amazing for us. But so Etienne said, I want to help traders to become successful as quickly as possible, because we see the pain, we hear your pain, we get your emails with your pain. I work with traders who lose a shitload of money. I can't even say it any other way, and the impact it has on their families, and it's heartbreaking. And I know I have certainly sponsored a few a few years of salary for my account managers. So it doesn't have to be this way. And this is what we want to impart with you guys today on how um, to find the fastest and safest path to full-time trading.
Yeah.
So
And
mhm.
just a quick bit here. I feel like people have this tendency to kind of go everywhere, so they try to learn the success path, but then they go to all these places and try all these different things, which just in the end take more time. But if you follow like the steps, it doesn't take that much time. You can do it like pretty quickly, and you would be surprised if you do all these steps, how quick that can be and how simple it can be.
We call that the shiny thing syndrome, Etienne.
Yeah,
So, you start out on your journey, then it's like, oh, look over there. And then you go this detour. And it's like, no, it didn't work. You go back. And then you keep going. Then it's like, oh, look over there. And then you try this thing and then you go back. Oh, it didn't work. So um, I am a big fan of trying out everything, but completing one at a time. So I studied everything, every trading system under the sun, and I still keep studying new trading strategies, learn from new educators. So I studied big picture pattern setups. I studied candlesticks. I studied um, what's it called, harmonics. But I didn't jump from one to the other. I studied candlesticks until I mastered it. And then I went to harmonics until I mastered it. And then I went to GAN until I mastered it, because harmonics and GAN is very similar, right? So it was a natural progression to where I would study the next thing. And now I study a lot of macroeconomics, simply because when I started working with hedge fund guys, I realized this is what needs to be done. And it was really interesting. I was talking to my famous hedge fund friend that I can't mention. And I said to him, so this bond trader, he's been trading stocks before, and this is so different. And he said, no, this is not different. It's exactly the same. It's, and then he explained to me how it interrelates in the big picture and the small picture. And he explained that fixed income is just a higher level to equities. That equities is really not the thing to do. it's the fixed income is, where all the cool kids hang out. And I didn't know that, right? So I learned so much as well, still after 16 years in the industry. So, and this is really what is, hey, Graf, so good to see you. Um, so, and this is really what it comes down to continuously learn and to know how to improve. The trading journey, Etienne, do we have this slide that I sent you yesterday? I actually didn't load it up.
Right.
Otherwise, I'll find it
I'll
quickly.
load it up in a second. Yeah, yeah,
Can you? Yeah.
sure.
Do you want to share it, or shall I share it
Yeah,
on my
I'll share
screen?
it. Yeah,
You
I'll
share
share
it?
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so based on what Etienne was talking about in terms of what his vision is for his academy, and also what his vision is for how he wants to help traders and why he wants to help traders, we designed this new course, right? And Etienne's going to share with you. Hey, Paladin. Etienne's going to share with you a slide that we created in terms of what the shortest path to full-time trading is. Because what does everyone want? Everyone wants to trade full-time in some way, shape, or form, and then have the choice to work or not. Because what I found is that most traders, once they trade full-time, they go back and adding some sort of second business to their trading, simply because trading doesn't satisfy all of our core needs. So our core needs, according to Tony Robbins, is number one, certainty, then variety, then significance, love and contribution, love and connection, growth, and then contribution. So once you have mastered your trading, you only have really covered, you only start covering a few of those core needs, but then you feel like something is missing in your life. And that's why so many traders who are successful get into educating and teaching as well, because that satisfies a whole other set of requirements, of values. So at the beginning, you start out and all you want to do is money. You want to have the financial freedom so that you have the time freedom to do what you want to do. And then when you have achieved that, it's like, okay, so money actually doesn't become as important anymore. And you start looking for something else because you realize that according to your values, and I'm generalizing here, right? For some, money, the pursuit of money never changes because it's so important to them. And that's totally cool. We are not here to judge anyone. Like whatever is important to you in your list of values, that's what's going to drive you to live a life of fulfillment, whatever fulfillment means to you. So, but I found that money is only a driving force until a certain level of experience has been reached in trade, a level of success has been reached in trading. And they did research, and the research showed that up until about $75,000, money makes a big difference. So every dollar you earn or lose makes a big difference to the quality of your life, to your happiness, to your satisfaction, to your ability to have fulfilling relationships. Because we all have seen the stats about money being a core driver for divorces, for fights, for friends, losing friends. Um, so after $75,000, the utility of money, as we call it, so the value add of each dollar reduces. And that's why we start looking for other avenues of living a satisfied and fulfilling life. And that's why people like Bill Gates start looking for how they can change society at its core. Yeah, but he's doing so many humanitarian projects. So, the keys to trading success, and that comes down to having worked with more than 1,000 traders now in my career, and traders from all stages of life, from newbie to $1 million professional trader, insta trader, hedge fund trader. That gives us really great feedback on what works and what doesn't work. So the um, first context you need to create is, what are the circumstances so that you can perform at your best? And what are the circumstances for you to become a full-time trader. So what I'm talking about is here, you need to have a certain dollar amount in your trading bank so that you can trade with. I always say, if you can't turn $1,000 into $10,000, you will turn $100,000 into nothing. And so start small and grow until you have learned to master the steps. So kind of like a computer game, you go to different levels. So the first level would be turning $1,000 account to a $10,000 account, and then you go to the next step, right? What are your time circumstances? Most they work full time. They have families. They have responsibilities. I'm working with a trader who has a family. She's working and she has to look after her mom who needs care. It's like, where does trading fit in? And what, we're going to make it work. We're going to find a way. The third part is to find out who you are as a person. So self-awareness. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses naturally? And I always point out that Etienne, from his behavioral and personality style, is almost the opposite to me. And this is why I love teaming up with him, because I learned so much from him. And he can learn a lot from me, obviously, as well, because we are so opposite. And also we can, because we are so opposite, we can cater for a really big part of traders, because anyone from scalper to swing trader we can take care of. Yeah. Not so much long-term investors, because that's not what we are interested in either. But you can know, right? It's like yawn. So you need to find out who you are, what your weaknesses are, and what your strengths are. Yeah. So that's what I mean with circumstances. Are you highly visual, or are you more auditory? What is your best way to learn? So a friend of mine, he's amazing with numbers, and he gives me those spreadsheets and rattles down numbers. I'm like, dude, you're losing me. You have no clue what that means. And then I show him my charts. I'm like, look here, island reversal pattern. And I knew the market's going to go down, come down, because there was a reversal pattern for me, right? And he's like, Dad, I have no clue what you're talking about, because he's not visual. He's a mathematical brain. I'm a visual person. So I need to ask for help when it comes to maths. So find out how you naturally process information best. If you have a mathematical brain, you might do really well in options, because it's a lot of maths. If you have a visual brain, then don't even try options, because it might be hard for you. Go into pattern recognition, like candlesticks, like chart patterns, and maybe even harmonics. Yeah. So this is step one. Find out what the circumstances are that you need to create. Get a business plan. I'm still surprised. None of the traders who contact me for help have a trading business plan. Don't even try to have one. So it is important to create a business plan, to create your goals as if you would be running a normal business. So what I essentially do is I do business consulting for traders. That's how I see myself, because I don't want to work with traders who are not hodling. Now I forgot the word. My favorite thing when people ask me if I'm dabbling. Traders who are dabbling, that's like an insult. Don't want to work with traders who dabble. No, I want to work with traders who want to run a business, right? And have this goal of being full-time traders. And this is what Etienne said as well when I asked him, what's your vision? He said, I want to help traders to live their dreams as well and be full-time traders and have the choice to travel like he does now, right? Like you do, Etienne. So the second part, the second key to success is you need to have a strategy with positive expectancy. And that's often very, very hard, because again, there's so many strategies out there, and that takes us back to step one. If you know who you are at the core as a personality and behavioral preferences, and what will give you really good clues, for example, what kind of sports do you love? And I always say I used to be a show jumper. I used to do downhill skiing with moguls, like really short, sharp movements, and I trade the same short, sharp scalping. If you're a marathon runner, you want to do a little bit longer term trading, right? If you look at your disk profile or Myers-Briggs profile, it will tell you how do you make decisions under pressure. Do you need a number of um, um, what's the word? Do you
Set of
need an
factors. Yeah.
Thank you. Yep, that's why you need a team. So when you forget a word, someone can jump in. Thanks, Etienne. Yeah, but it's true, right? I would have sit here another 5 minutes. A number of factors to make a decision. Or do you need a certain period of time to make a decision? If you are someone who needs time to make a decision, you want to do your analysis over the weekend, let it brew, let it settle, and then on Monday morning, you're ready to work with the markets. Or are you someone who is making your decisions based on feelings? That is great because you can build your intuition very quickly, but feelings on its own is not enough. You need to add facts and figures. So then you want to maybe learn from people who know how to make decisions really quickly based on number of factors. And I always share that Tom Dante, I love this guy because he's what we call a high C in disc. He's very extremely organized, and I learned from him how to organize myself in such a way that because I'm an intuition trader, I'm a high I, so my feelings, my emotions, my empathy is off the charts. But that doesn't work in charts because I would in the past make decisions based on how I feel. Like, oh wow, that trade feels really good. I should get in. Someone would ask me, how's your trading going? I would say great if I would feel good. Or I would say, not so good if I would feel bad because based on my last trade doesn't mean anything. So we need to add facts and figures and performance metrics. And so Tom has this demon finder that I now give my traders as well, where they sit down and find out what is the main mistakes that I keep repeating over and over and over again. And it's a list of, let's say 5 mistakes that you do most of the time, and then 10 ticks. So the one where you hit the 10 times the fastest, that's your biggest demon that you need to work on. And that's great to find out because as soon as you know, you can work with it. So that's the strategy with positive expectancy.
I think I want to get to some of the
Mhm.
comments from the chat. I think they're interesting. So maybe we can do that and then come back to cover the last part.
Sure.
Stop this here.
Yep. That's like, phew.
Yeah. Makes it weird. All right.
Okay.
Uh,
Can you take me off your screen? That's like,
yeah, that's gonna be
thank you.
better. All right. Cool. All right. So couple of questions. So I like the one from Paladin 35 YA. I liked it. So he says, so what you're saying is that if we make it above 100,000, we want to help others. I think that's not the point. The point is more that some people have in their value to help others or to make an impact. Like, see, for me, like you always want to act according to your values, and that will depend for everyone. I know traders will make like millions of dollars and they don't want to help people. They don't want to teach because they hate it. That's something they will hate to do. Or they want to stay low profile because that's what they love. But it really depends on your values and what you like to do.
Actually, it's so true, Etienne. I was talking to a friend of mine who makes about 100,000 a month, and I said to him, "Dude, I asked him about a particular trade. I said, how the heck did you pull that off? How did you know?
Mhm.
And he's like, oh, because of this and this and this. And it's like, wow, that's amazing. I never thought of that. And I said to him, you should really teach. Do you want to teach? And he said, nah,
Yeah,
nah. He has a little baby, he's like 2 little kids. And he's like, I'm busy with my kids and with my trading. Nah. Um, he does contribute in other ways, more on, he's happy to give a donation, but that's as far as it goes.
exactly, exactly. And I know people who, like, for example, hate doing videos. They will not be able to like teach on video or teach people with that. So it's of course something you develop. Like it's not. I didn't like doing videos at first, but you still have
Yeah.
to like it and still like it has to inspire you as well. If you wake up every day and you have to like you feel like you have to teach people and help people and you don't feel like it, it's gonna be boring. It's gonna be tough, and you might as well not
Yeah.
teach because you're gonna be a bad teacher.
So, for example, I know another guy, former hedge fund guy, and he retired quite early. And then he was like, "What do I do with my life? I'm bored." So he started contributing to businesses because he loves
Mhm.
business.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do it from a point of wanting to help people. It's like he loves the challenge. He misses the fight in the
Mhm.
pits, and he's looking for another fight to pick, like in a constructive, positive way, of course. He is very, very high level, amazing guy. And I see that all the time. And if people don't do that, you know where they end up? They usually end up in taking drugs and getting off the rails because they try to fulfill their sense of or need for adventure or need for variety in an unresourceful way, as we say it. I've seen that a lot as well.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions, just comment in the chat, and we'll make sure to cover those a little bit later. We'll cover the last part, part in the path to success. And Andre is asking if there's going to be a recording. Of course, you could just go on the YouTube, on a YouTube channel, and you're going to see the recording right after. Always there. So that's pretty simple.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share again the thing, and
Hmm.
we'll get to the third key to training success. Let's do that.
And Mighty Icy, I will get to your answer as well. Um, cool.
Cool.
So we're going back to. So actually, that fits beautifully into where we are now, a strategy with positive expectancy. So, Mighty Icy, the question I have for you is, um, how do you know you need to improve your entries? Yeah, that's my question one. My second question is, um, what about your entries do you believe needs improving? What is it that's not working so well as you would like it to work? Um, Another question you can ask yourself is, if my entries would work perfectly, how would I want that to look like? So, for example, you could say my timing is out of whack. So I can read the market really well. I was working with a trader, and boy, he could read the market really well. Like every trade that we looked at in the last year eventually went to target. But his timing was so bad that he would lose a massive amount of money before the trade would take off. And so by the time the trade took off, he had lost so much money already that he couldn't stay in the trade. He had to get out, or he would blow up his account. So then we would look at, how. So what you need to know, Mighty Icy, is how do you know that your timing is out? Well, that comes back to keeping your performance statistics. When you keep your performance statistics, you can see actually on my FX book, for example, you can see where you entered the trade, and then it tells you where you exited the trade. So if you entered the trade, let's say here, and went down first, and then goes, let's say you entered long, of course, it went down first and then it goes up, then you know if that happens all the time and it goes down a significant amount of pips before you get into profit, then you know your timing is out of whack. And then you need to look at what is the problem here. Is the problem me because I'm not following my trading? I'm too impulsive. I get too excited. I get this this uncomfortable feeling of fear of missing out creeping up, and that's why I jump into the trade instead of waiting for my technical entry. Or does the trade give you a technical entry and it still goes offside first before you go onside? If that is the case, then you know your problem is your trading strategy, or maybe both, right? So this is what Etienne and I do with our traders. We help you identify what is not working and how to improve it. Um, Isan, I think hopefully say your name correct. You ask if moving averages work. In my model of the world, they work. I know traders who say they don't work. It's up to you to make them work. So
Yeah,
it's not.
exactly. So
Mhm.
just to clarify, they work if you use them properly and if you know how to use them and if you have a plan to use them. If you just like look for any moving average and try to use it for this time, it's not gonna work.
Exactly. And I hear that all the time. People say, does this strategy work? Does that strategy work?
Yeah.
Does GAN work? Does Elliott wave work? It's not the strategy that works. It's you who makes the strategy work. Yeah. And so that comes back to knowing who you are at your core, because I could never make Elliott wave work because I'm not a longer term trader. I'm not good at it. So someone like, Tony Sycamore, our friend Etienne, who was on your show, he is an amazing Elliott wave trader, ex Goldman Sachs guy. I didn't know you can trade Elliott wave in Goldman Sachs, but he was one of the top guys there here in Sydney. So um, it doesn't matter. He makes it work because he also understands the macroeconomics. He uses that in context with everything, right? So which are the best ones, Isan? That's again depends on the product you're trading. So on my DEX, I use very different moving averages than I use on the euro or the Aussie dollar or the pound. And guys who have seen my charts, there's a lot of moving averages on it because of that very reason, because I use some moving averages for some and other moving averages for others. And I have trained my brain to just delete out whatever indicator I don't need. So if I work with a 200 moving average, I only look at that and I disregard. My brain knows how to disregard the 70, for example, 70 moving average. So yeah,
So
so
yeah,
mhm.
before we answer the other question, and those are really good questions, we'll get to the last thing because I feel like it's really pretty much the same topic. So
Okay, cool. So and then once you know who you are, and once you know you have a strategy that works, of course you need to have the ability to consistently execute that strategy. So doing what you know. And Steve Ward says it so beautifully. First, you need to learn what to do. So you need to know what to do, and then you need to learn to do what you know. And that is where most traders fall down, the doing what you know. So they know when to enter, they know when to exit, but they don't do it. And they talk about having a lack of patience and a lack of discipline. And that's then when we talk about trading mindset, when we look at what is the driving force for you for having FOMO, because the FOMO is just a surface level experience. What's underneath? What's the driving force for that causes that? And that's what we need to clean up. And everywhere I see, literature in you have to be sitting on your hands. You can't jump into the market. You have to be patient. It's like, yeah, of course you have to. It's the how to do that when you have the urges and temptations creeping up on you. That is the trick. Don't tell me what to do. I know what to do, but I can't stop myself. It's like with people who are overweight. They know that they shouldn't have pizza for breakfast. And yet the urge is so strong. They don't know how to stop themselves to have pizza and Coke and chocolates for breakfast. I'm, exaggerating here, of course, but just to paint a picture for you. Yeah, Greg is a martial artist, right? So
I love that comment. That's a good comment.
they get beaten up severely. I love that. Yes, and martial arts and trading is so similar, isn't it, Greg? I know you draw a lot of parallels, and that comes down to what I said before. Look at what you're doing. Look at what you're good at. So, martial arts, I know from Greg, is very strategic. So, Greg, I'm not sure if he would be a really good scalper. Because martial artists can also be good, very fast, right? So would be good scalping, making a decision very fast in the moment. But also trading more strategically in terms of swing trading. Yeah. So, Graf, if you are one of those martial artists who like to be really fast and react in the moment, then you're a great swing trader. But if you are trying to be strategic and slow and pounce when the opponent is unsuspecting, then you might be a better swing trader. It's
Yeah,
so
this is
clear.
the first one is day trader. So I think you said swing trader first, but day trader first. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you. Cool. That was a good point about timing.
Great. So are we done with
Yeah.
the last step? Have you to consistently execute? Or
Yes.
you want to add anything to
So,
that?
God, there's so much to add, Etienne.
Yeah, I know. We can talk about it like all
So,
day together. I know, I know.
yeah. So the ability to execute comes really down to self mastery, mastering yourself, and it comes down to skill mastery, so mastering the strategy that you have, because in theory strategies look so simple, right? But then you see a double top setting up in real time, and it doesn't look as straightforward as it looked in theory or in hindsight. So it's skill mastery as well as self mastery. And what I really recommend is to look into the money mindset. So I've been running a few money mindset trainings, and they have been massive. Because what is trading? Trading is all about finances, all about money. So if you have stuff around money which will show in your normal life, if you have challenges with money in your normal life, that will show in your trading. Trading will not be your way out of your financial distress. So, but it can be the vehicle for you to learn all about how you cause that, what your blockages are, and how to remove your blockages. And you will see that when you remove your blockages in your normal life around money, your trading behavior will change. The fears will disappear. The sabotaging behavior will dissipate. It's so fascinating, like a domino effect. What else do you think we should add, Etienne? Do you think we have it covered?
I don't know. I guess there's all this review
Mhm.
that has to be done to make sure you are consistent and you stay consistent.
Yeah,
And so I don't know. It's a whole topic, but people have to understand who they are and kind of what mistake they do most. Because I came to realize we often do like the same 3 to 4 mistakes, and they're always the same. But once we can spot them, we can start to work on them. But of course, it takes time, and you have to work on those and correct them. So
yeah, exactly. So look at the question again. Do you think daily, weekly, and monthly highs and
yeah,
lows are good targets? Don't know is the answer. Depends.
exactly.
Eh,
Depends. Yeah,
right? Everything is context related.
depends how you use it. Yeah,
Yeah, if you're a long-term investor, yeah, go for monthly targets. I, as a scalper, can't go for monthly targets. Would drive me bananas. Can't sit there for months.
and the other question is the high a good target? Do you want to be exit before the high? Because that can be very can make a big difference. If you look for the exact high point, might be really tough. Might go like close and then come back. So I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds a little bit like perfectionism to me as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So traders who want to hit the tops and the bottoms, I love that, right? For me, it's a challenge. But if I don't, fine, doesn't matter. But traders who are very adamant about it, to me, they're often perfectionists, and that can stand in their way. So if you use it as a challenge because it's fun, that's very different intention, and it's not stopping you, it's not sabotaging your behavior. Because what I see, traders who want to pick tops and bottoms, they become self-righteous, they hang on to it.
Hmm.
And I pick a top, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I put my stop loss in and off you go,
Yeah,
fine, doesn't matter. Yeah.
that's a big
So
difference right there. Yeah.
yeah. Cool. Guys, I have to go to a baby shower today. My best friend is having a baby shower. So
Yeah. Great.
let's see if do we have any more questions here.
I figured for the 5 minute in, what is the probability of Bitcoin? I don't know, like 50% all the time. Can either go up or go down, so we never know. That's always the
Yeah.
same answer.
And yeah,
Uh,
Bitcoin, I'm not trained in, no idea.
exactly.
So yeah, ask
Same here.
Bitcoin
So
people. Ask Nick Trades, Nicola Duke, on Twitter. She is amazing. She is amazing because she was an amazing trader before she started trading Bitcoin, and she understands how to read this thing. I have no clue how to read it. So, hmm.
mhm, exactly. So guys, we'll wrap it up now, and thank you again for being part of the family and the 4,000 subscribers. I really appreciate. And if we can do anything to help you out, feel free to reach out, and we'll do our best. Comment below if you have any question after the video, and we'll keep monitoring, keep answering the questions, and we'll catch you guys pretty soon.
Hmm. Thank you, guys.
Good. Stopping.
You're still live.
Yeah.